Throughout the history of the wildly popular mobile game My Singing Monsters, many new characters have been created to add to the thundering crescendo or to bulk up the beats on numerous islands. Of course, new monsters mean new species names. So while the years went by, names evolved to be more imaginative, exotic, or even consist of the odd reference or two. Today, we'll be looking at the latter, one of Big Blue Bubble's more sneakily hid name meanings. Today's suspect is a mollusk-based wublin, the Astropod. Now the neat thing about this electric supernatural is that it actually possesses two different name meanings. Let's dive into the more obvious of the two. Gastropod. Sources describe a gastropod as a mollusk of the large class Gastropoda, such as a snail, slug, or a whelk. Specifically, we want to focus on slugs. There exists a certain marine, water-breathing sea slug known as a nudibranch. Look familiar? Exactly. Astro means relating to outer space, which explains why the astropod looks so extraterrestrial. Astropod literally means space slug. So just like that, we have our first name all figured out. But you probably knew that by now. That's not even why you clicked on this video. The astropod has a secret name meaning that I discovered quite by accident. So, you may know that I enjoy drawing. You probably also know that I enjoy My Singing Monsters. Keeping that in mind, it's easy to think of what I like to draw, specifically in comic book format. I'm thinking of putting this in the channel, or in an accompanying webpage. It's called My Monster TV, and it's about a Wubox named Wiblix, attempting to run his own television show. The first issue is about the Wublins, so naturally, this is where I stumbled into the second meaning of Astropod. Geek that I am, I constructed a chart with a friendliness gauge, habitat log, scale, and a bunch of biological features about this charming monster. I also included its scientific name. How do you compose a scientific name, you may ask? Well, it's the simple process known as binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature can be simplified into the term two-name system of naming. The name's in Latin, and it tells you the genus and the species of an organism, usually being a descriptive adjective, like Salmoplatycephalus, meaning flathead trout, or Phodianthaba ceruleus, meaning blue digger bean, a name I applied to the dough dipster. That being said, I set out on a quest to find the perfect scientific name for our fleshy film-covered friend. I first checked up on the Astropod facts released by Big Blue Bubble and settled upon underside of its foot said to resemble a star as a good factor. I decided to classify it as purple starfoot. Now for the Latin. Finding the prefix astero, which means star, I then looked for the simplest version of foot that I could find. I located ped. My completed name was Asteroped atropurpureum. But then I noticed something very peculiar. Asteroped looked and sounded almost exactly like astropod, which gave me an idea. Looking through the Latin list, I found that you could substitute astero with astro and ped with pod. So astropod literally means starfoot. That explains why this seemingly random piece of information was released. They were trying to clue us in. Now knowing that astropod means two things, who can guess how many other monster names have hidden meanings in them? Well, that's it for today's video. Be on the lookout for any hidden name meanings in the world of My Singing Monsters. You never know what you may find. I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and if you found it interesting and want to know when any other discoveries or theories are published, then please subscribe. I'm Creeptanium, and I'll see you later.